I had plenty of posters.
Who did you have posters in your bedroom?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I had a lot of Beatles posters.
Beatles. Oh,
Yeah. But then like once I started to get into like, you know,
Who did you have
it was done.
Who did you have a cardboard cutout though? I don't think people
I didn't
don't
have
think
any,
people
but
had those
all
in their
of my
bedroom.
cool friends had them.
No way.
Yeah.
Of what? Of
like
who?
Selena Gomez. They had all the cool ones of her,
Right.
like
They had
with her little
a
wand.
life-size cardboard cutout of Selena Gomez, huh?
Yeah.
And you had the Beatles posters on your wall. Did people think you were weird because you had Beatles and they had Selena Gomez?
Well, like, listen, I had a fair share of everything.
Oh, okay.
I for some reason, the Beatles were my aesthetic, so that's what I went with.
Do you still keep that kind of stuff around you, like creatively? Like,
Yeah, I love art. Like, and not even to say it in a way that's like relatable. I really do love art. I feel like I actually just I moved in January into a new house, and so I basically was like kind of looking for just really cool pieces of art. So I found this French movie poster of Ferris Bueller. It's all in French, and it's like painted. It's like on a canvas, and like that was like the coolest thing. I love stuff like that.
You wanted to be slow. You could pull off the Sloan look from Ferris Bueller. You could
Thanks, guys.
How do you find like art? I always like think that sounds cool. Like I want to get into art, but I don't even know where to start. Like, do you have someone to help you?
No, I mean,
an art assistant. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't have an art assistant. No, I mean, you just talk to people. Like you
really?
just, yeah.
I thought you have to like hire someone who like buys it or informs you or educates you. And
What
stuff.
are we talking? Are we talking
if you're
like
getting real
paintings?
fancy about,
Are we talking
about
sculptures? Are we talking?
Depends
so
on
you're
what your vibe is.
I never really understood like people would go to like an art gallery, right? And you stand there and they'll look at splotches. And you're like, oh, it's really, I get how it's artistic.
Okay, but listen, I just went to the Louvre for the first time.
But why is it $1 million?
I just went there last year. It's so cool.
Like for the first time. And like, that's not like splotches of paint. I actually don't think I've really ever been to a museum where I've looked at splotches of paint because I would be sitting there for a while thinking I'm taking an eye exam. And like, I just don't think I could do that.
You're like, is it a butterfly? Is it somebody murdering somebody? Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a lot. I don't know. I feel like it's all up to your interpretation.
What did you like at the Louvre? What stood out to you? Like, this is so cool.
Mona Lisa was fine.
Yeah,
no,
that's
I'm kidding.
cool.
She was like one of the cute ones. No, I'm kidding. They were all.
Could use a touch up.
They were all amazing. Like seriously, everything in there is just so larger than life that it's kind of like overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's so many rooms that like
I kept getting like lost because there's like it's so big. Like I was like, what room am I in and what?
That's
like
literally like I did not know where I was.
Yeah.
You get to soak up the culture a lot when you're in different countries and you're traveling. Do you have a lot of time to do that?
Depends.
Yeah.
I try to make a little bit of time. Like, you know, if I am somewhere and I know that I can have like an afternoon to do something fun like that, I'll try to do that. But not all the time. But
you've been to Dallas a couple of times. Have you done anything in Dallas? Like, what have you done and explored in Dallas?
Been to a Cowboys game.
You went to a Cowboys game?
Yeah, of
There you
course.
go.
My dad's a huge Cowboys fan.
Is he?
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, literally like my whole life he's been like.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you live in Philly?
So my mom's from Philly. My dad's from Ohio, which still makes no sense.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No reason.
No, just want to be a Cowboys fan.
I think
In
everybody's
Eagles
like,
country. That's crazy.
I mean, it's America's team
And he
for
married
a reason.
an Eagles fan, which is even crazier.
That's fun. Are you in LA now? Is that where you are?
Yeah.
Is your dad in LA with you now?
We're still crazy enough. Like we still kind of all live all over the place.
Because your family's really involved in your music. Like, is your sister still singing with you?
Yeah, she is. When I tour, and she's kind of more so like just in everything I do, like a really like a creative partner, and I look to her in a lot of ways because she has kind of seen where I started and where I've grown, and we are so interested in so much of the same things, and like so much of the time she's showing me new music and new artists that I end up falling in love with.
That's cool.
But yeah, no, my whole family, like they do their own things, but everyone's super supportive.
I have an older brother that constantly just calls me out on stuff. Like he'll be the first. Is that her for you? He'll be the first one to be like, "Dude, you're being a total jerk."
Oh, I mean, yeah, she definitely will, which is great. You need those people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
What does she think about your new music? How much have you leaned on her for that kind of stuff?
You know what's funny is like she's a part of everything except writing the song. Like she's
Really?
never there when I'm writing the songs. Like
Sure.
I do that by myself. So that's like the one place where I'm really isolated from everybody, you know, in my family and personal life.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just with the people that I create.
What about your mom? Is it different now, the aspect of your career? Because when you were younger, obviously your mom's there, you're underage. It's like there's not only family rules but also legal rules like that guardians have to be there, but your mom was like on tour with you. How involved is she there with you every step of the way or you kind of like pulled away as you evolved?
You know what? when you turn 18, there's this like sudden thing where everyone's like, all right, but you don't need a parent.
How old
like,
were you in
yesterday I was
Evolution?
17.
You were
Evolution tour I was 16.
16. Okay.
So yeah, she was with me the whole tour. And you know, like the nice thing is she doesn't have to worry about, you know, like me going on tour now. I have such an incredible group of people around me. I don't get into too much trouble, and when I do, it's very tame. So, you know, she does trust me in a lot of ways, and I think that on my last tour, I toured the U.S. in the summer, and she was there for a majority of the tour. But like even her, she was like, "All right, I'm gonna like skip out on these couple of shows and like see," because you have to start slow.
Let's see how
rip
she
the
does.
Band-Aid off, you know. But no, they are there with me every step of the way, and I don't think that that's a bad thing.
Was she on the bus with you?
Yeah.
Too?
Well, we first tour was hard, but second tour we kind of had more of our own space. So I brought my dog too.
Oh,
what's it like growing up on tour? Like growing up in the spotlight, like not
TV.
Yeah, right. Like legitimately, there's like 15 cameras. Like that's hard. Or what's it like? Yeah.
Growing up on tour is interesting. I think my life changed a lot more when I started touring, because there's no preparation for tour. There's never like anybody to prepare you truly for what you're getting into.
What does that mean?
It's so hard to describe unless you're doing it, because it's like every day. No schedule is ever the same, but you're constantly waking up in a new place every day, kind of being thrusted into situations that you've never experienced.
And you love that, don't you?
I do,
You love
because
that.
I'd be bored otherwise. You know, like if and I think like I started homeschooling when I was in 3rd grade, because for some reason I just knew that like I wanted to like be on the go. For a big portion.
That was your choice? You're in 3rd grade. You're like, I'm not going to school anymore.
No, I didn't say I wasn't going to school, but I was homeschooled. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm not going to get much done in, you know, I'm not going to say my teacher's name. I'm not going to get much done in my 3rd grade science class, which in hindsight, I probably did learn a lot about plants. But I think, you know, now it's just not really what I wanted to focus on. And as far as school and as far as moving forward with that, like, I always say, like, I'm prepared for whatever, and I'm open to whatever life wants to throw at me.
That's interesting that like, you felt like you knew who you were and what you wanted, like, in 3rd grade. Like, I feel like I was, like, barely could decide what TV show I wanted to watch or movie I wanted to
My son's going
see.
into 3rd grade right now, and I'm like, man, if he came home and said, hey, I want to be homeschooled, first of all, I'll be like, well, I'm going to have to hire someone to teach you because I don't know anything.
Well, then I did cyber school. I did online school. So I did have, like, other people teaching me online. Yeah. So, I mean, and it's so funny because, yeah, of course you could be in 3rd grade and say what you want to do. It's like, but it doesn't really mean anything until you do it or until you're.
But you're doing it, yeah. That's like
which is cool. I got lucky.
I was like, I want to be an astronaut. But that's not what I'm doing. You're doing what you said you wanted to do, and that's so uncommon.
You could be an astronaut if you really wanted to.
I think you could be anything you want to be. I don't think it's a cliche. Like I think that a saying exists for a reason. But I think it's hard. I think most people just try different things and evolve, and that's fine. And so you just change, but you didn't like necessarily change that goal. You just changed as a person, which I think is super interesting.
It is interesting.
Can I ask you, I guess it's a little more personal question, but when you're growing up and on tour in the spotlight at this age where a young woman is becoming from a kid to a woman, like just emotionally and physically, and the changes in their life, that's got to be hard to do in front of everybody. I mean, the insecurities and being in regular junior high when that's going on has got to be one thing in high school, and not doing it in the spotlight.
I don't if we're talking about that, like I don't watch my old videos. I don't watch like episodes of television shows that I did.
Really?
Like, yeah, because that was that stage, and not in any way that it's like I'm ashamed of it. I'm not. It's just like I know that those were the times that I was going through that, so I just like I like to live in the moment.
You felt like you were awkward, or
not even awkward. I was just what everybody was when they're 13. You know what I mean?
Awkward, yeah.
Yeah, like I guess if awkward is the word, it was that. And like, you know, you think your hair looks great, it doesn't. It's
I had frosted tips
too
and the
much
big glasses.
product. It's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think like it's a great question. I'm still going through it right now. Yeah. And the hard thing is because of this new technology, like we're so overexposed to everything and everyone's exposed to us. So there's just a lot more eyes on you than I think there ever was before, regardless of what you are and what you're doing. You know, you could be a doctor and you have 50,000 followers on Instagram, and that's crazy.
Yeah,
there's a celebrity
You
doctor.
said that you don't go back because you're looking back, but who are you right now? Like, how would you describe yourself? Like, you know, do you feel like you're like, I'm a funny person? Like, how would you describe yourself?
how would you describe yourself? That's such a loaded question.
Yeah,
like,
I do.
I don't
you
think.
better answer.
Well, I don't think anyone ever wants to describe themselves. I think when other people describe it, you hope it's good.
You have a sense of who you are. Like if I were to describe myself, like I feel like I'm caring, understanding. I'm curious, like very curious person. I'm about the world. I think I'm sympathetic.
Yeah.
So I would be able to describe who I think I am, and then I can also describe who I want. I know I'm driven, so I know what I want to be.
I mean, let's put it this way. I again, like you said, sympathetic, and I'm very empathetic. I feel so much, and that produces into creativity. So I like to say I'm a creative person, and my mind is kind of never.
Is that your outlet then? Because if you're that empathetic, you're absorbing a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Negative, positive, whatever it is. Is that your outlet? Does it all come out of music? Do you have something else that you kind of is it art? Is it?
It is. It's art in general. Whether it's most of it is my music, but a lot of the times it's just writing in general, or if I get lucky enough to be a part of a project where I feel like I can put that into a performance that I'm giving. It's all.
Let's
around.
talk about some of the writing though for this new project though, because I do feel like this song "Almost Love" is so much different from all your other stuff.
Yeah,
and it sounds different. You in the videos, like everything.
It's very sexy.
Yeah,
the video's
very different. Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
I was like, I feel like I'm definitely not watching a 14-year-old anymore. So when you're writing, do you feel that while you're writing it that's different, or are you just going with whatever and then you listen back and you're like, wow, that's a different me?
Actually, what it is, you don't even think about it. You're just doing what, like, the first thing that comes to your mind, and obviously that in that moment was what I was going through and how I was feeling and the kind of sound that I was into. And so then you go back and you listen and you go, oh, like, I guess I can see why that's such a huge departure for people to like process, because I wasn't processing it myself.
How do you balance like the Disney star to music star?
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's always this transition where everyone kind of goes to this sex appeal. Like we have to break that. So how do you find that balance? Because like at your age, you're kind of finding your sex appeal anyway. So it's just natural for you to go through that.
Nick Jonas
but also
went
not
like
be
hardcore this.
Miley, but like not be forced, but not to be forced. So where do you
and I don't think
like,
anyone puts as much focus on just putting it out there. Like the men that do that, I don't know if it's as looked down upon as it is for females.
It's completely different.
And I think that again, like you say, from Disney star to music star, like it's this thing that the fact that I was working on a show at 13 years old, whatever that show was going to be, like that was the one that ended up working and ended up like, and I'm so grateful for that show. But it truly is like, it's so funny that people think of it as like Disney is a way of life. Like I was the same person then as I am now. It's just like I was playing a different character, and now I'm just being who I am.
But I think it's because of the fan base. So I think it's like that fan base follows you from Disney. So then it's like when you transition into sex appeal, it's like, oh, is the fan base ready? Is the fan base ready? And how concerned are you of that?
Concerned? I mean, I feel like I have to be honest with myself, or else they won't believe it. And again, if they want to grow with me, that's awesome, and I'm super grateful.
You have the album release party tonight. Is the album done? The album's close. Tonight's like an intimate sort of listening session sort of thing. And are all these songs people are going to hear tonight, they're going to be on the album? Do you know what songs are going to be on the album yet?
Yes.
You picked them because you wrote a lot of songs, right?
I did.
Like how many are you sitting on?
Probably like almost 70 songs.
Wow, that's cool.
That's a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you know what's going to be on the album.
Yeah.
And we don't have a specific date yet. Just winter.
It's coming, and there's so much details that are coming around it. Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to tell everybody everything, but right now that was like winter. Winter is coming.
Cool. I like that. That's awesome. All right, singular. Right?
Singular. Thank you guys so much for having me.
And Almost Love, which I wish we had more time because I would love to ask you more about the Almost Love part too, but we'll maybe another time.
Yeah.
All right, we're excited for you. Thank you for coming by.
so much.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me, guys.